Hello, and welcome to Spook and Lore, a Wayward Spirit Media podcast where every week we will cover a new spooky story filled with ghosts and lore. Today, we are talking about a topic that I am very excited about. I actually just went and saw where we were talking about. So, we're talking about the LALAURIE Mansion. And I went to New Orleans a few weeks ago and I made a point to see the LALAURIE Mansion. And it was really cool. And I am just so excited to share this story with you. It is a very, very spooky story. And if you have seen AHS Coven, then you know why. All right, well, let's get into it. So, for almost 200 years, there have been a lot of reports of paranormal activity in the LALAURIE Mansion. So, let's start from the beginning. Madame LALAURIE was named the Mad Madame Delphine LALAURIE. She became infamous for how cruel she was in the way she treated her slaves. She was a very wealthy woman who actually married 3 different times. And her last marriage is actually where her infamous name came from. So she married Leonard Louis Nicholas LaLaurie, and in 1831, Delphine purchased the property at 1140 Royal Street, where she would live with her children and Mr. LaLaurie. But their marriage did not last very long. He only lived in the LALAURIE Mansion until 1834, so about 3 years, because they consistently fought. And losing her husband after going through 3 marriages really made her go down a downward spiral. There were rumors everywhere saying that she was harming her slaves. And in 1833, a young woman who was one of her slaves died in the courtyard. And there was an investigation on her death, and Delphine was the first suspect. And so, she let all of her slaves go free. But once the investigation was over, she bought them all back one by one. There were also rumors going around that Madame LaLaurie was doing experiments on her slaves. And now, none of this could be proven until April 10th, 1834, when a fire broke out at the LaLaurie Mansion. And when this happened, they found 7 slaves who were starved, tortured, and chained to the building. So a mob of people started surrounding the LALAURIE Mansion, demanding that the sheriff arrest Madame Delphine. But the sheriff did nothing, and Madame LaLaurie managed to escape the crowds around her house. But they weren't done. They wanted vengeance. They were going to handle this themselves. So they stormed into her mansion and they took all of her valuables and started tearing down the walls and the roof. And by the morning, it was pretty much demolished. And Madame LaLaurie was in the papers as a monster. They also called her a demon in the shape of a woman, and fury itself escaped from hell. And they think the cause of the fire was a slave who was chained to the oven as a punishment. And she was trying to get attention to the horrible conditions that Madame LaLaurie was putting them in. And after the fire, the rumors of torturous experiments were actually proven. And the bodies that were left in the house had many broken bones. They were in unnatural positions for a human to be in. Some of their limbs remained crooked and bent. Another body had a hole drilled into their head, trying to scramble their brains with a wooden stick. Another one had their skin peeled back to expose the tissue of the naked eye. There were also some that had intestines removed from their body and wrapped around their waist. And after a few years, the LALAURIE Mansion was sold again and rebuilt. And while they were rebuilding, they found even more skeletons of people with deformed bodies and holes drilled into their skull. And no one ever saw Madame LaLaurie after all of this happened. Some think that she fled to France, where she was from. Some think that she fled but came back to New Orleans later in her life under a different name. And some think this because there is a blank tomb in the St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, and they believe that that tomb holds her body. But there are records in France that say Madame Delphine died December 7th, 1849. However, there were letters from Madame Delphine to her children stating that she wanted to come back to New Orleans, but her children didn't want her to come back. So we don't really know what happened to Madame LaLaurie. Although, again, there is a story about a worker at the St. Louis Cemetery who discovered an old cracked copper plate that read Madame LaLaurie, deceased December 7th, 1842. So who knows what the truth is? Her death is just as mysterious and spooky as her life. And actor Nicolas Cage actually bought the mansion in 2009, but he lost it very quickly after because of bankruptcy. But the people of New Orleans thought that it must be the curse of the LaLaurie Mansion. And since then, no one has really lived there. In 2013, there was a oil tycoon who actually lived in the mansion, but I went there a couple weeks ago and I do not think that anybody lives there. It didn't look like anyone did. It actually looked like it was state property. So yeah, I think the LaLaurie Mansion is not occupied at the moment. And there might be some truth to the curse of the LaLaurie Mansion. So in 1894, it was converted to apartments. And a tenant who lived there was brutally murdered in his room. And they found his belongings just all over the place, like someone was trying to find something. So the police thought that it was a robbery, but they didn't actually steal anything. And when they talked to his friends, they claimed that he was having problems with the spirits in his house. He told them that there was a demon in there and that the demon wouldn't rest until he died, which he did in the LaLaurie Mansion. So in the late 19th century, the LaLaurie Mansion was actually a school for girls for a short period of time. And it did not take long for reports of physical assaults happening in that building. They would get scratches and bruises all over their forearms. And when they told the teachers asked, "Who did this to you?" And they always answered the same thing: that woman. And these girls were so young, they didn't know anything about Madame Delphine. So that begs the question: does the spirit of Madame Delphine LaLaurie still live in the LaLaurie Mansion? And that is why the LaLaurie Mansion is widely considered the most haunted house in New Orleans. So what do you think? Is the LaLaurie Mansion haunted? And does Madame LaLaurie's soul still linger there? Well, all right. Thank you so much for listening this week. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you want to support this podcast, please follow, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube, and check out our merch. We have some really cool merch. Perfect for anyone who loves spooky things for Christmas. Well, all right. I will see you all next week and stay spooky. Bye.